One of the biggest reasons we decided to move to Mexico was for our health. But first, if you don't know me, hi, I'm Jenny, born and raised in Chicago with Mexican heritage, and 3 years ago now, Kevin and I decided to reverse migrate to our parents' home countries. In this video, I'm going to be sharing about my experiences with various types of healthcare services, including how much they cost. Things like dental services, seeing a doctor for food poisoning, a chronic illness, physical therapy, and even Botox, which I'm going to be getting today for the very first time. So get ready, because you're about to learn a lot about us at a very intimate level. Especially me. Let's start with the experience of going to the doctor for something like food poisoning or a sore throat. What I usually do is I go into Google Maps and I will type consultorio médico, and it'll pull up a number of different pharmacies that have an in-house doctor. So that can be farmacias similares, farmacias del ahorro, farmacias Benavides, or maybe just a regular doctor's clinic, and those are great places to go. The pharmacies are excellent because they don't usually have a very long wait, and the cost all throughout Mexico and the different states that we've been to has been pretty consistent, around 50 pesos for a consultation. In the last 3 years in Mexico, I've had food poisoning a couple times. I think the worst time was in Chiapas, where I think I had like an infection in my intestine. I went to see a doctor at one of the pharmacies, I believe it was Similares, and the doctor quickly diagnosed and prescribed medication that I got at that very same pharmacy, and I don't think I spent more than 20 or 30 US dollars on all the medication that I got. In that instance, he prescribed antibiotics, and in Mexico it's pretty common for adults to place their own injections for antibiotics. They often will prescribe injections, but if you don't know how to do that, or if you're not comfortable doing it yourself, I think they only charge 25 to 30 pesos to do it for you. Fibromyalgia has been one of the biggest reasons that I seek healthcare services really often in Mexico. And for those of you who don't know what that is, fibromyalgia is a chronic musculoskeletal pain condition with no known cure. It's difficult to treat. Doctors have very different opinions on it. So I've done a lot of physical therapy to help with the pain management and the muscle aches. I think I've been to a physical therapist in just about every single state in Mexico that we've visited, which is about 20 right now, I think. And prices have ranged from 300-ish pesos to 600 pesos. So anywhere from 15 to 30 US dollars per a 1 hour session. And I've been so impressed with every single physical therapist I've seen in Mexico. It's just how knowledgeable they are and how personalized the attention is. And the cool thing is that they have, the physical therapists that I've seen in Mexico have very holistic approaches. One of my favorites was in Zacatecas. The therapist focused on techniques to calm my nervous system, which with fibromyalgia and PTSD, which I also have, I have a very sensitive and stubborn nervous system. Another physical therapist in Jalapa, Veracruz taught me breathing techniques to help strengthen my core and ease my back pain, which I thought was amazing. And now my current physical therapist in Mexico City, which I love, is helping me to do both pain management and slowly regain my strength. I also recently saw a rheumatologist here in Mexico City for both the fibromyalgia and these intense headaches that I've been having for almost a month. And this was a new experience for me because I had never gone to see a specialist. I always just went to these consultorios at the pharmacies. So to find this rheumatologist, I went on a platform called doctoralia.com.mx, and it shows you profiles of different doctors, their patient reviews, their prices most often. And I chose this doctor who specializes in fibromyalgia. She's a rheumatologist, and I saw her at this private hospital in Mexico City for 1,500 pesos. That was the consultation fee, and she was fantastic. She ordered some blood work to be done for me. She upped my medication, and I'll tell you next what the experience was to get the blood work. But first, I want to tell you about dermatology, which I've also done. I think I've done almost every service possible. I went to see a dermatologist about some skin concerns. That consultation was 900 pesos. Medication is fairly cheap, but what's expensive here are the skincare products. A lot of the skincare lines are foreign, European, or something. They have very elevated prices. They tend to sell these products at the clinics, but I usually go on Mercado Libre and I look for them usually much cheaper. The dermatologist also asked me to get some blood work done, which I went to go do at a clinic called Salud Digna. and this is how that went.
If you can go during a weekday, I'd recommend that because the wait times are much shorter. I walked in without an appointment, took a number from the kiosk, and got number N320. I waited about 20 minutes and they called me and paid for the lab work, 340 pesos for the test, got my receipt, and waited to be called again a minute later to have my blood drawn.
All right, now let's talk dental. We've had a few dental cleanings in the last few years in different states in Mexico, and unlike the pharmacies with the doctors in-house, the dental cleanings have varied greatly. I think the cheapest one we paid was in Morelia, Michoacan, which was around 400 pesos for the cleaning, and the most expensive one was recently here in Mexico City at 1,000 pesos for a regular dental cleaning. And in Querétaro, I believe we paid 600 pesos for the dental cleaning. So I think it has a lot to do with the local economy and cost of living. In Querétaro, I also had dental surgery. I had my bottom 2 wisdom teeth removed, and they had to dig those out, local anesthesia and everything. I made a whole video about it. It was really painful. The price for that was around 3,000 pesos per tooth, so around $300 for both. And lastly, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I was getting Botox for the very first time ever. When you think of Botox, your mind probably goes towards the cosmetic use of it to help with wrinkles and make people look more youthful. How many years younger do you think I'll look after this video? I'm kidding, I'm not doing it for cosmetic reasons, but come along with me and I'll show you why I'm doing this. I saw this dentist for a regular cleaning and checkup a couple weeks ago. He was recommended to me by the lovely staff at the NOLA Physical Therapy Clinic, and he noticed that I showed signs of bruxism, teeth grinding. He recommended I use a mouth guard for 27 hours, 7 days a week. Yes, that's exactly what he said. So he had this one customized for me, which I'm supposed to be wearing right now, but I'm not because otherwise you won't understand what I'm saying. But he explained to me that the mouth guard can only do so much for my teeth and won't really help with the muscle aches, jaw aches, and the impact on my gums. So that's when he recommended Botox.
First, they drew on my face and applied a topical anesthetic. I told her I was feeling nervous and she asked why, and I said, "'Cause you're coming at my face with needles? Duh." But then I saw how tiny the needle was and it didn't look so bad. They injected a light dose of Botox into my jaw, 5 shots on each side. Plus, they offered to throw in a little between the eyes and the forehead for free. I thought, why not? I'm already here. Plus, maybe it'll help with the headaches. The injections into the jaw hurt a little bit because the muscle fibers were so tense, but this vibrating tool helped mask some of the sensation. And then the ones on the forehead, I barely felt. I paid a total of 3,000 pesos or about $170 in today's exchange rate, but I have no idea how much something like this would have cost me in the US, though I doubt the price would even compare.
What I've loved about seeing doctors and healthcare professionals in Mexico has been the personalized attention and their communication. The other day I freaked out when I woke up with my left foot numb and then shaking during a Pilates workout, so I texted a video to both my rheumatologist and my physical therapist via WhatsApp. The rheumatologist asked me to get additional blood work when she saw that video, and then I shared those lab results with her again via WhatsApp afterwards. She gave me additional instructions. I didn't have to make a whole nother appointment like I probably would have had to do in the US, and it's so much easier to interconsult. My dentist asked me to make sure to get clearance from my rheumatologist for the Botox. The physical therapist asked for information from my rheumatologist, and all of this is done via WhatsApp, so quick, all within the same day. Something like this in the US would have taken multiple phone calls to multiple people and then waiting days for answers. I hope you didn't mind all the oversharing in this video. I think health is really important, and I'm not shy about these things. If you stuck around all the way through the end of the video, I appreciate you. Don't forget to leave us a comment, hit the like. Se cuidan, se bañan y nos vemos en la próxima. Chao.